Ah, time for Unreal Fest. Yippee.
We follow you right, we about to take the ride, baby. We follow you right.
Hey, stop spoiling it. I don't know if that's confirmed though. Never know. I'm messing with a slinky. The Witcher, I don't really care. Did I already see this? Like, bro, I've already seen that, like, on my phone. Hey, Meta, what time is it?
It's 6:53 a.m.
Thank you. Oh my god, I fucking hate you. Someone said release Unreal Engine 6 and 7 together and call it Unreal Engine 6 7. I hate you. I actually hate you. Just let the meme die, please. I really want the meme to die. Please, let it die. It's only funny when I dance on people in Fortnite. This Overwatch? Oh, that's Fortnite! Yeah, they're definitely gonna announce something Fortnite related. If it has something to do with Epic Games, there's something Fortnite related. Dune? Dune on console? I'm kidding. Fortnite. What? Oh, you don't care. Fortnite Remix? For LEGO Odyssey! Let's go. We got Stormtroopers. To be honest, I don't really care if I get copyrighted, but at least I get the full reaction. I'm not gonna edit any of this out. Hey Meta, what time is it?
It's 6:54 a.m.
No, it's been 1 minute. I highly doubt it. I've already seen this. Fortnite 2 is not good enough, bro. What just happened? Oh god. Ow, my eyes. Oh, I don't like that at all. No, thank you. No, thank you. 24 hour? Oh, hell no. Jeez, thank you. I'm turning up the dimming. I want to see peak content, please. Stop turning up the damn dimming, please. Better stop fucking with the damn dimming. God, I hate this headset. Welcome to the stage, David Bazuki! Like that's gonna happen. I am secretly plotting. I thought those were cosplayers. I'm bored. Remote controllers. I'm bored. I'm gonna go look at Twitter real quick. Cool. Okay, yep, I hate you. Why am I not following Glitch? You know this is fake. Oh yeah, Roblox sucks. Hey Meta, what time is it?
It's 6:54 a.m. I already told you that.
Hey Meta, it's not 6:54. What is the actual time?
It's 7 a.m.
Oh, you freaking idiot. Hehehehe. Ooh. Fortnite. That's, I don't know. Fortnite. No. That's the short that they made. Damn. Oh, yep. Unreal Engine 6 is getting announced. I can already tell. Oh my goodness. Yep, Homer. I said Somer. God damn it. I'm washed. That was Pete.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unreal Fest. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's go. Thank you
Let's hear
so
now,
much
Captains.
for joining us here in Chicago, and thanks to everyone watching on the live stream. Once again, we're joined by luminaries from AAA game studios, indie teams, Fortnite creators, and filmmakers who are all shaping the future of entertainment. And we've got innovators from robotics, architecture, automotive, and so many more industries who are taking the power of Unreal to new frontiers.
That is not
There are over
oh, that's
100
dumbass.
sessions and hands-on labs to choose from. So if you don't have the event app yet, take a quick snap of this QR code, download it, and build your plan for the next 2 days. Be sure to check out all the demos and games on the expo floor. Swing by the Learning Theater along with the Dev Lounge, where you can get some technical help from our team. So we're here to celebrate your success and give you a glimpse of where we're headed in the future. We have
Fortnite.
a lot of great stuff to show, but just a heads up, we're not doing a live tech demo on stage this year. The team's been really hard at work, making an awesome new engine release and building the foundation of Unreal Engine 6, which you'll hear more about later. Before we get into what's new, we want to give a shout out to a few groundbreaking
UV6.
projects. Last year, just before Unreal Fest, Sandfall Interactive released Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Yeah, that one like
Which, give it up, which became the breakout hit of 2025. And now, a year later, the game has received over 500 awards. The
I
most
don't really
awarded
give a
game
shit,
in
dude.
history. Congratulations to the team for all of your achievements, and we can't wait to see what's next.
not for me. I just
Arc
don't like it.
Raiders is another huge success story. From October to February, the extraction shooter sold more than 14 million copies.
Damn.
Embark built the game's massive open world, leveraging UE5 and Epic Online Services voice chat capabilities to give millions of players an awesome
looks like
social
Star Wars.
experience at a peak scale of 960,000 concurrent users.
God damn.
K-pop Demon Hunters was the most watched movie
you're
in
gonna mention
Netflix
Fortnite.
history, winning 2 Academy Awards, a landmark moment for the animation industry. Sony Pictures Animation and ImageWorks transformed their pipeline by moving to real-time previs and layout, using Unreal
What?
Engine to cut production time by an estimated 25%. That's months of
What?
work saved. And because the team used real-time ready assets in production, we were able to pull off a Fortnite collab in record time. This was a full ecosystem moment that kicked off with a Demon Rush limited time mode, and it continued across Blitz,
Yeah, it was
Reload,
peak.
and Zero Build, with cosmetics in the item shop.
We're going up.
We did
up,
all of
up,
this
down,
and launched
down.
UEFN developer tools in 2 months.
I watched this movie like 300 times.
Unreal continues to gain momentum beyond entertainment. SAS is an enterprise leader in enterprise analytics, AI, and data management. They're developing incredibly complex Unreal Engine digital twin simulations across industrial manufacturing, worker safety, life sciences, and other industries. Now, these digital twins help businesses make operational decisions in simulation before a single machine moves, a single worker is put at risk,
Oh,
or
I
a
gotta
single
make sure my
dollar is
message
spent
plug
on the
in.
wrong configuration. All of this, games, animation, and enterprise solutions built on Unreal Engine 5.
Unreal Engine
Now,
6.
we revealed UE5 6 years ago. Since
6
then,
years ago.
release
Damn.
by release, we've shipped many features required to deliver stunning, high-fidelity open worlds running at 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
We've also been working
120.
to unlock real workflow improvements so you can create faster and more efficiently. Nanite minimized manual LOD pipelines. Lumen nearly eliminated light baking. MetaHuman reduced the time to make great-looking characters from months to days to even minutes. Sequencer and Control Rig made it possible to animate
No,
really
is this
complex
behind the
character
scenes of the
performances
Big
in
Bang
Engine
event?
without leaving the editor. World Partition made streaming massive open worlds possible without leaning on critical engineering resources. It's hard to believe it's been 6 years since the launch of UE5, but it's inspiring to see what you've done. To share what's in our latest release, please welcome mon ami, Simon Tourangeau.
Thanks, Bill. Good morning. It's great to be back to share the latest on Unreal Engine. Over the last few releases, the feedback we've heard most from studios is make it fast, make it stable. So we've been focused on exactly that, performance. Take 5.7. We improved performance by up to 25% on the GPU and up to 35% on the CPU, giving you smoother frame rates. Today, we're releasing Unreal Engine 5.8, which is all about building on that momentum to give you more headroom, fewer hitches, and less friction between an idea and what you can actually ship. A big part of 5.8 is maturity. Systems that were experimental or beta in previous releases are now crossing the line into production readiness.
Oh, man.
The headliner is megalights.
Oh,
Thousands of dynamic shadow casting lights and area lights in a scene at a fixed cost. What used to be a performance lift becomes a creative tool. Artists can light with fewer compromises, and teams can spend less time budgeting every dynamic light.
Oh.
Around it, LiveLink Hub, Movie Render Graph, Chaos Cloud authoring through Dataflow, Audio Insights, and Iris are production ready too. We also made it simpler to scale to the different platforms. Lumen, our dynamic global illumination system,
Why are you showing the Switch too?
now
You're
has a
showing me how
lightweight
broke
mode
I am.
called Lumen Light, designed to preserve much of the visual impact at a significantly lower GPU cost.
Did they even get the permission from
That makes
Nintendo?
Lumen viable where it wasn't before, including
Buddy,
on
stop
Switch
recording.
2. And that work is already helping drive further nanite optimization efforts for the platform.
I don't really care. If it's a Switch 2, I don't care
Now,
because I don't have one.
let's talk about something every
And I'll
developer in
never
this
have one
room
because
has
of how
felt.
freaking expensive it is.
Yeah,
Compiling.
the hitch, the frame spike, the long shader compile. The
40
moment your
million
game
shaders is
pauses and
crazy.
you wonder where all that time went. A huge part of that problem is shaders. So we've sharpened the compiler and improved deduplication to strip out redundant work. Less to compile, less to load, less getting in your way. In Fortnite, that work combined with content changes contributed to a 68% reduction in shader count. Faster cooks, faster loads, lighter memory.
Last time
Jason
I
and
checked,
John's
the
talk
Switch
tomorrow goes
1
deep
can
on
barely
how
run
we got there.
Fortnite.
But
It runs like
shaders
a
are
toaster.
only half the story. The other half is pipeline state objects, or PSOs. A PSO is the bundle the GPU needs to draw an effect. Shaders, blend modes, render state, all of it. Miss one at runtime, and the driver has to assemble and compile it on the spot. That's your hitch. And those are the bugs that are notoriously hard to hunt. Luckily, we have just the guy to do it.
Hitch Hunter.
So in 5.8, we've improved PSO pre-caching. Fallback rendering is far less visible while PSOs are still compiling.
Can it be?
And the whole system is easier to tune, debug, and profile.
Is Fortnite playable on Switch?
These are not flashy changes, but if you've been chasing itches, you'll feel the difference the first time you boot. And we're not done. We're working with Microsoft and hardware partners on advanced shader delivery, a DirectX 12 initiative that allows us to ship pre-compiled shaders to players, moving more shader work out of the player's runtime experience.
You want my address?
The rollout is ramping, and we'll let you know more about this soon. Now, here's a brand new experimental feature we're shipping in 5.8, Mesh Terrain. We wanted to move beyond the limits of height map-based landscapes where every point can only move in one direction, and the fixed grid means you can't adjust the resolution to add detail or optimize areas. Mesh Terrain is a new way to author complex terrain without being locked to a height field.
I love it.
And it's more than just a mesh. It's partitioned for collaborative workflows, supports world partition
Now
streaming,
this just looks like Destiny
and
2.
is designed to scale across platforms using the same source assets while tuning the runtime representation for each platform using Nanite when available.
That looks amazing.
With Mesh Terrain, you have full 3D manipulation capabilities. Overhangs, tunnels, floating islands, shapes you simply couldn't build before. And because it's mesh-based, you can also control tessellation at the triangle level. That means adding detail exactly where it matters, while saving memory and performance where it doesn't. As you'd expect, you can paint material layers, but also additional attributes, and it supports virtual texture with automatic UV generation.
Ugh.
Mesh Terrain uses non-destructive modifiers and procedural tooling, so iteration becomes dramatically
Oh, wow.
easier.
That actually looks pretty cool.
Everything can be layered, reordered, combined, and adjusted at any point in time. So you can literally move mountains.
Wow.
It also works natively with PCG and comes with an expanded modeling toolset. But best of all, in our ongoing Fortnite optimization efforts,
Yeah.
Mesh Terrain has a smaller memory footprint and runs faster than Landscape.
Yeah.
Higher
Yeah.
quality, lighter costs, more
I
creative.
feel like they're
and
mentioning
technical freedom.
Fortnite more than just the
That's Mesh
Unreal
Terrain.
Engine stuff. I'm getting kind of.
Another big
concerned.
focus of 5.8 is helping you go faster from
Wait, this
idea
is-
to result. Performance capture has matured to scale from one operator
that's
at
the
a desk
Yuki,
to a
like-
full mocap stage with control over every recording device on set, including video. And we're taking that further.
In about 2 minutes, we're going to be an
Earlier
army of
this
police
year,
here.
Meshcapade joined Epic, bringing world-leading
Shut up,
technology
phone.
for markerless motion capture from video. We've already started
Damn.
integrating it into the ecosystem, and today we are releasing the MetaHuman Animator markerless motion capture plugin on Fab. You can drive a character's body, face, and hands from regular video. No suits, no markers, video in, animation out. For animators pursuing feature quality work, this is our most significant animation release yet. We've made high-end
Get this
animation
guy off my
workflows more
screen.
interactive, more intuitive, and more connected to the creative process. From sculpting directly on stylized rigs, to controls that live on the character itself, to a simplified timeline that keeps you focused on the performance. These are the same tools our animation team uses every day, and now they're available to everyone, and we're releasing the sample with 5.8. On the cinematic side, offline depth of field gets a major upgrade. We now render the blur the way a real camera makes it, by sampling the scene from multiple points across the
Damn,
lens.
they're just doing.
So you get
They're cooking
physically
today.
accurate
They're cooking.
defocus, even on translucency and thin geometry. For productions working with ultra-high resolution media, the new tiled MIPMAP video format gives you compressed video that holds up at scale. It only decodes the tiles and MIP level your viewport actually needs, so you don't pay to process pixels no one is looking at. So that's the flyby. If any of this caught your ear, you can find deep dive sessions in the Unreal Fest app. And if 5.8 is about reducing friction across the engine, there's
Hey,
one
Meta, how can I install the Unreal Fest app? Shut up. Nope, just no. He's probably done speaking anyways.
Thanks, Simon. Now, at times, making games can be hard, expensive, and slow,
Yep.
where the gap between what you can imagine
Hey, stop
and
coughing.
what you can make is held back by technical overhead. I don't know about you, but spending hours in a node graph trying to untangle and understand what's going on just to change one thing is not my idea of creativity. There has to be a better way to do this. So that's what we've been working
We're still
on.
talking about Unreal Engine
Tools
5,
that
by the way.
enable you to build faster and iterate more. Now, Unreal has been built on a simple idea: your source, your pipeline, your workflow. Give developers complete control
I hope in
over the
30 years
tools
Epic Games is not
and
going to
get out
shut
of the
down
way.
due to like money loss. I
That
really
philosophy
hope not.
hasn't changed. We're just applying it to large language models. Now, in 5.8, we've implemented an MCP server that
Now I'm
acts
just
as a
saying
bridge
crap. Jesus.
between Unreal and any model that you want. For this presentation, we're going to be using Claude Code, but you can use Gemini, your own custom model, whatever you want.
AI.
Enabling
really?
the Unreal MCP is as simple as turning on the plugin, doing a bit of config, and connecting to the model of your choice. And everything you're about to see today runs on that
Hey,
setup.
Meta, take a picture.
We'll still do some really unpredictable things. However, with this approach, we maintain the ability to go in and edit as you would any Unreal scene.
How long have I been recording?
Okay, let's see this in action. On the left, we have Unreal Engine. On the right is a terminal running Claude Code.
Damn.
You can see every message going back and forth. Claude Code is talking to Unreal through the MCP server, reading the scene, and taking actions directly inside the engine. So let's start with something small, a modern living room. We start by giving the model some context, what we want to build, and whereabouts in the level. And to make sure everyone can follow along, we're showing a summarized version of each prompt as we go. But if you want the full details, you can still see that in the terminal window. We're going to speed things up from here for presentation purposes, but everything you're seeing is real work happening inside the engine. So you can ask for the basics, a sofa, a rug, and a coffee table. Then fill it in with chairs, a lamp, and a side table. Semantic search, which is part of the 5.8 release, pulls assets from your library that fit that description. And because this is Unreal, we can also manually add a chair, describe it as a reading nook, and the model will furnish the room accordingly. Every step here is a creative decision that you're making.
Dang.
Models are good at broad
Yeah, it's
iterations.
cooking.
You're good at knowing exactly what you want. Those same principles work whether you're furnishing a room or whether you want to scale up and build an entire city. So let's take that same approach and build a city. You start by drawing the boundary. From there, you can decide where the districts go and what characteristics each one has. Highways cut through on your direction, and from those, the road network starts to fill in. Buildings come up. The model here is using semantic search to find the right assets from your library and place them in the level. Ask for a forest around the edge, and it can fill that in. At every step, you're making the calls. What do you end up with? It's not a rendered image. It's real geometry, real procedural content generation graphs that you can open, edit, and modify. And this works for a whole team too. Other developers can work on their own sessions, building assets and dropping them straight into the city. The road network adjusts, the blocks update, and the city absorbs it. Different people, different sessions, and it all works together. So how does all of this actually work? With the MCP server as the bridge between Unreal and your model, it gives your model the ability to read your scene, understand your assets, and make changes directly in the engine. And because it's open, you're not locked into any particular model or workflow.
Look at the chat.
Now, while large language models are great at language and reasoning, they don't naturally think spatially. Unreal does.
Watch someone say
To help
Fortnite.
connect the two, we're giving you over 80 foundational procedural content generation building blocks, a library of examples, and skills that encode specific Unreal workflows.
I called it.
Now, this is experimental, and it's going to keep getting better. This is where you come in. Tell us what's working. Tell us what's not. That's how we're going to make this better. Now that the city is built,
Stop
we want to
yapping.
light it. Getting lighting right on Unreal is a skill that means touching dozens of parameters that all need to work together. Light balance,
I'm
cloud
impatient.
materials,
Sorry.
sky atmosphere, post-process.
That's not happening. Deltarune is not
That's a lot to know.
Okay, I gotta shut up.
But by creating a dedicated lighting skill, you just describe what you want, and the model orchestrates that all for you. Ask for a purple dusk. And there it is. Under the hood, it's adjusting all those settings in concert. Then we can ask for overcast skies. And this is a good example of where the model gets things wrong. It misread the sky and tweaked the cloud material the wrong way. But you can see exactly what happened, correct it in the next prompt, and you're right back to where you want to be. Because models also
That's
have
beautiful.
real-world knowledge, you can just say, Bogota at 9:30 in the morning. And it will go and figure out the sun position, direction, temperature, and atmosphere that actually matches that. And if you want to match something specific, you can take an image. So here we used one of Vancouver, and ask it to replicate that look. It uses screenshots to assess and iterate until it gets there. And everything is still editable. Grab a road and move it, the city adjusts around it. Ask it to make a building taller or more prominent in the scene, and it does that. But then you can go in and modify any individual asset, making it exactly the way that you want it. This isn't a generated image that you're stuck with. It's a real scene in Unreal, and you control every part of it. Now, let's look at one intersection. We wanted to add a hazard zone, flashing lamps, steam, and a sense of danger as the player gets close. That normally means days of back and forth across multiple disciplines. So here's what we did instead. The warning lamp already has a material, but let's say you want to add something to it. You ask the model to read the existing graph, build the new logic, and insert it right where it needs to go. You can then jump into the material instance editor and tweak the final values by hand. Then you take a Niagara template and extend it, adding a single parameter that drives multiple emitters at once, giving you control over the whole effect in one place. You build out the HUD through prompting and UMG, status display, danger meter, warning states. Then blueprint logic ties it all together. A proximity trigger connected to the material, the Niagara system, and the HUD. Walk in, and everything fires at once. All right, so let's run it. Lamps are off, it's quiet. She walks toward the site, the lamps come on, the steam starts rising. She steps inside, lamps are flashing, steam's pouring in, and the site is erupting. What we've shown here today would take months to build by hand. But with the MCP server and Unreal, our artists were able to make all of this in days. When you lower the technical friction, you can iterate more and make better
Why does this look like
games.
New York?
That's what we've built. This is really just a starting point. Bring your own primitives, your own examples, your own skills built around your pipelines. The more your team puts in over time, the more useful it gets for everyone on the project. We're shipping the MCP server, the PCG primitive plugin, and the skills we've developed as part of 5.8 today. It's open, and it's yours to extend. Go download it, point your model at it, and see what you can do. If you want to go deeper, we've got 2 chances to catch our Tech Talk here at Fest. Come find us. Now I'm going to hand it over to Pat to talk about how some of what I've shown you impacts linear content creation in the engine.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, everyone. My name is Pat Tubach. I've got a background in film and television. For media and entertainment, the MCP plugin that Michael just showed you opens up a wide range of new connections to LLMs, but also to image and video models like Nano Banana, GPT Image, Grok Imagine, Luma, Seedance, and many more. Michael was telling you about tools in the present, and I'm going to cover tools for creating linear content that are releasing early next year that give you control over these models. The standard approach to using an image model is to start by crafting a text prompt. In this case, I wrote a novel describing a fictional scene in Epic Motors, a 1950s gas station. But in professional situations where you have to hit story points, match exact continuity, and deliver what your creative director wants, you would typically communicate visually through sketches and pre-riz. Unreal is great for that. So, to get started in Unreal, I scouted the derelict corridor scene from Quixel that's available on Fab, which I quickly customized to look like the gas station layout I needed. I worked in detail lighting mode, since I was just using this for blocking to this stage. I dropped in some of the appropriate assets from that map: shelving, a propane tank, a cabinet, and also made proxy shapes for the assets that I didn't have: a long counter, more shelving, a cash register, and an ice chest. Then I backed up and framed my camera view and animated a boom down and a push in that I'd later use for my shot. But before I tackled the full video creation, I had to create a single style frame, the visual reference of my scene. To do that, I used the model to combine a depth pass, plus the prompt novel I'd written before. The depth conditions the models to understand the layout and the framing. Here's how that works using our new tools in Unreal. I asked Claude Code, connected by our MCP plugin, to use Unreal's movie render graph to create a 4K image, plus all the rest. Asking for an Unreal render to create the image was a signal to Claude Code that I wanted to give my model my depth pass, but use the creative look described in my prompt. I then fired off that request. And while it was being generated, I inspected the graph that it made for the task. Image models are hungry for helpful data and conditioning, and so I prepared a process that pulls valuable visual data from the Unreal scene and passes it to the image model, in this case, Google's Nano Banana Pro. Now, let's take a look at this image more closely. You can see that it did a great job matching the visual detail I asked for, and most importantly, it didn't place things randomly. It matched the composition of my Unreal viewport exactly. From there, I could start to iterate. For example, I wanted another tire on the floor, but I didn't have that particular asset because it was an image model creation. Using the new image segmentation tools in the editor to mask the tire, I selected both the mask and the image, and with a predefined workflow, asked Claude Code to extract it, repair it, and mesh it using Trippo 3.1. And then I double-checked that graph, and I supervised the work. Now, of course, this is not a real-time process, so after several minutes, I got my textured tire mesh. I saved it to the content browser, where I then pulled in the tire and positioned it in 3D space. And finally, I asked Claude Code to add the tire to the image. Let's take a look at that result. So if we compare my UE passes with the tire in it, you can see that it put the new tire where I asked it to, and it made it look like a variation of the generated tire, not an exact duplicate. All right, now let's add something totally new to the scene by going back to the viewport for another round in 3D. I went browsing on Fab and found one of our junkyard car parts for Megascans. I picked the specific fender piece that I wanted that had a 1950s look modeled into it to leave less to the image model's imagination. I asked Claude Code to add it to my image and make it look like it had been newly repainted. And after another image processing step in Nano Banana, that was done. Okay, now that I produced my style frame, I was ready to go back to our new Unreal tools to generate a video of our scene. And here's my shot camera move again. If you recall, this is the move that I created at the beginning. Over on the right, I ran a sequence render node that represents the depth over the entire range. I'm going to use the same depth restyling process with the video that I did on the still image. I supply the style frame I just generated to the video model as a first frame reference, and you can see that I added a cat, just hoping for a bit of life. And then I set my video generation node to use Seedance 2.0, set the resolution, added audio, and then I was off. Once that process had run for several minutes, I had a video that looked like this. So clearly, this is showing you that I can control the camera,
Yes. Yes!
but nobody controls a cat. All right, let's leave the garage and the cat and move on to an apartment. This is a different workflow that we've been building in parallel for more rapid concepting with diffusion and your viewports side by side. What you're seeing here in this video is the UE viewport on the left that was streaming to a local Flux Klein image model on the right. The local model result isn't temporally coherent. It was stamping a new image on every frame and only running a few frames a second, which is why it seems slower over there on the right. But let me show you how intuitive it is to use. I prompted for sunset lighting at first, and then decided to see what it would look like if there had just been a fire in this apartment. And then I tried something more extreme, like being underwater at the bottom of a murky pond. The real benefit you get here is being able to go back to the UE viewport, interact with the assets, and see them repositioned through this new diffusion lens. Not only that, but you can try more illustrated looks, like a charcoal drawing or even a watercolor painting.
Wow.
As models get more capable and hardware improves, it's not hard to project this workflow forward to a time when diffusion's real-time and temporally consistent. Okay, let's look at some other examples of Unreal Engine scenes restyled by artists in the engine using a variety of sources.
Damn.
Some of which are premium environment packs from our friends at Kitbash 3D, and some of which are our own internal assets, including the city sample. Starting from quality source assets leaves less room for interpretation by the models.
That'd be ChatGPT.
We
What
think
the
these
hell is
new
that?
UE tools are a force multiplier that
Oh,
will give
wow.
artists more opportunities for creative
Gladiator?
iteration on their work alongside the real-time animation, modeling, texturing, and virtual production tools that you've come to count on in Unreal Engine. So this is where we're headed. The MCP server that's enabling all this is experimental, and what you're seeing here for image and video creation will be available early next year. We're on this journey together, and we're aware that for these models to be truly useful, we need to focus on not just lowering technical complexity, but also giving you full creative control over what you're making. Thank you.
Epic Game Store? Okay.
That was awesome. All right, so now you see more even great features, workflow improvements that are all going to help you make awesome games and content. So let's talk about distribution. 2025 was a year of growth for the Epic Game Store, and we're off to a great start in 2026. In our year in review, we reported that December monthly active users reached 78 million, an all-time record for the Epic Game Store. And players spent $1.16 billion in the store across third-party and first-party titles.
I'm going to shut up now.
That's up 6% year over year. If you just look at third-party titles, player spending hit $400 million. That's up 57% year over year. And we now have over 6,000 games in the catalog from over 3,000 partners. We offer multiple ways for you to help your business grow.
The Rock.
In June of 2025, we announced that developers would keep 100% of the first $1 million of net revenue per product per year, with an industry-leading 88/12 rev share kicking in after that million.
Damn.
We've got Epic First Run, which gives developers the opportunity to keep 100% of net revenue for the first 6 months before launching on other stores. And we also have Launch Everywhere with Epic, which gives UE developers a reduced engine royalty rate of 3.5%, down from 5%, when they sim ship their title on the Epic Game Store. Finally, we continue to push on Epic Rewards, granting 5% back to players on all third-party content purchases that are processed by Epic.
Yep.
Now, last year we had a 20% rewards boost through the back half of the year.
And
we're seeing players continue to spend at heightened levels using the rewards that they accumulated and earned during the promotional period.
I don't know, Mo.
In fact, spending through the first 4 months of the year on third-party games is up over 40% year over year.
Jesus Christ. I don't know if that's
so
a
beyond
lot.
these great incentive programs, we're really looking to connect the Epic Game Store more closely with the Fortnite ecosystem. And that'll give developers access to an even larger player base.
Super Meat Boy, yeah.
Take our collab with Hoyoverse as an example. When players purchased eligible items in Honkai Star Rail on the Epic Game Store, they were granted a Stellaron Hunter Blade outfit that could be used across the entire Fortnite ecosystem, in Battle Royale or in thousands of UEFN games.
Yeah.
So some players discovered Honkai Star Rail for the first time in Fortnite. Then they went on to spend on the game in the Epic Game Store, and their spend unlocked a new outfit that they brought back into Fortnite. It's a virtuous circle for both developers and players. We've got over 30 million, sorry, not 30 million, that would be a lot, 30 similar collabs planned for 2026, with more coming in 2027. So we're delivering great incentives.
Sonic is confirmed. Oh my God, Sonic just got confirmed.
To make the store experience better. And over the last several months,
I literally have goosebumps.
Rebuilding the launcher. Our goal here is to dramatically improve performance with reduced cold start times and much faster browsing.
I mean, it looks good.
We've also been re-architecting the back end of the store, which is going to allow us to ship new player-facing features faster and more frequently.
Store library, Unreal Engine, it's so much
search
better.
And discovery,
Jeez.
adding a lot of long-awaited community features, and doubling down on delivering an overall better player experience.
When you change the Fortnite UI?
We are committed to growing the Epic Game Store, and we're not relenting in our mission to give developers access to a high-value global player base with the most favorable terms in the industry.
I'm tempted to call my
You can learn more about our plans for the Epic Game Store in this session tomorrow. And now that we've covered a bit of what's happening in our ecosystem, let's hear from some of the teams putting it all to work. First, 20 years after Emergence Day, the Coalition is finally telling the story they've always wanted to tell. Darker, more alive, and running at 60 frames per second with hundreds of shadow casting lights. Then, Riot Games is doing something most studios would never attempt, rebuilding a live PC and mobile game with 300 million players on a new engine, all while keeping the live service running. And finally, the small team at Neon Giant set out to build the densest, most lived-in city they could have ever imagined, a city where every frame tells a story
Finally.
And every choice you make becomes a part of that story. 3 games, 3 very different worlds, 1 engine. Up first, please welcome Kate Rayner from the Coalition.
I don't know what this game is, but I'm just gonna clap. Ooh. Xbox.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kate Rayner. It's great to be able to join you today. Gears of War will celebrate its 20th anniversary this year.
20
and Unreal
years, damn.
Engine has been the foundation of every game since the series first debuted in 2006.
Unreal
For
Engine's
Gears of
that
War E-Day,
old? Jesus
we made the decision
Christ.
to invest in Unreal Engine 5 and start with a blank hard drive and rebuild everything from scratch to achieve the believability of a world in chaos. Emergence Day
did deliver.
is the darkest day in our universe, the day the monstrous locust horde emerged from the ground to lay waste to humanity.
So like
And to
another
truly
Gears of
feel
War,
the emotional
I
impact
think. I don't
of
know.
that loss,
I never played it.
we needed to return to a dark and gritty visual style. Light and shadow do more than just set a tone, and with Unreal Engine
Xbox
5,
Series X,
we've
this
pushed our
footage?
signature Gears style to the
Damn.
next level. So,
like GTA
let's
6 type
show you a
level
taste of
graphics.
what we've built.
Yeah, it's technically Gears of War.
Welcome to the Pay and Save Superstore in downtown Kelowna. In previous games, a space like
I
this
have no
was
words.
limited to 3 shadow casters in view. With Megalights, we now have hundreds of light sources, all casting shadows at 60 frames
Physics
per
objects,
second
W.
on Xbox
I can probably find
Series
a way
X.
to break the game with those. Physics objects means
This
bugs.
TV display wall utilizes the animated area lights with light function.
Can you shoot the
that
TV?
are driven by the video itself fully on the GPU.
Yes!
They each cast eerie and unsettling dynamic shadows with soft penumbra across
floor.
the
Wait.
scene.
Can you kick the
The Pay and
wait,
Save is a
kick the
great
shopping
example
cart.
of how we've created environments
Oh, yeah.
with geometry collection destructible assets like this tiled pillar.
You have to time. You have to,
These
Oh, yeah,
dynamic
wow.
objects cast and receive light correctly, so destruction stays visually grounded exactly the way you'd expect in the real world.
damn, that's awesome. Shoot the glass.
Let's check out the freezer section. All these freezers have multiple area lights
Not
inside
the ice
them
cream.
to simulate that realistic lighting effect of the frozen food section of your local grocery store. During combat, bullets create a dynamic shatter point in the glass. When it shatters, all the pieces collide with the environment using hardware ray trace collision with physically accurate, translucent reflections.
Hey, Meta. Hey, Meta. What's my battery percentage?
Your headset battery is at 45%. Your left controller is at 20%. And your right controller is at 30%.
Lights
I
on
didn't
the
ask for my
ceiling.
controllers, but okay.
There is no way we'd ever be able to achieve this effect or have this many ray traced area lights
God
on current
damn.
generation hardware
That's a lot.
without megalights.
That
A
is pretty cool,
staple
though.
of the Gears franchise, E-holes are back in
Or
Gears
they
of
said
War E-Day.
a-holes. I'm like, no.
So let's open some up. Without all the monsters in the way, you can see all the volumetrics and smoke lit perfectly.
Dang.
One of the things we're super excited about that was unthinkable in the past is having shadows on every single one of our muzzle flashes. This is a really great improvement that adds to the dynamic combat of Gears with a more believable firing experience that puts you right in the middle of the action like never before.
Oh, wow. Yeah, wow. Now I'm playing this game. Can you shoot some zombies, please? Oh, man.
Our game isn't limited to just a single space. We can explore the entire city of Kelowna with tens of thousands of shadow casting lights. Delivering E-Day with this level of visual fidelity has not been easy. But we can iterate so much faster with hardware ray trace Lumen compared to the baked lighting we used in the past. With Megalights, our lighters are no longer constrained by the number of real-time shadowcasters, giving them the freedom to light our game with the same complexity as the real world. And we have 100 times the geometric detail in our assets due to Nanite's micro-polygon rendering.
Honestly, I dig it.
All of these systems work together to create a highly scalable engine that allows us to consistently deliver a visual showcase across Xbox and PC. As developers, many of us know there is a difference between a compelling demo and delivering a fully realized vision at 60 frames per second. The Coalition is pushing Unreal
FPS.
Engine 5 and the hardware it runs on to their limits to reimagine the Gears world at an unprecedented level of detail. We can't wait for you to see for yourselves when E-Day launches on October 6th. Thank you.
That's actually pretty cool.
Roll in. Hold tight while I get us the hell out of here.
What in the hell? It looks like the Mind Flayer from Stranger Things Season 5.
I lost visual. Anyone see it?
Behind you, maybe?
I lost it.
Above you? Oh, no, underneath you. Oh, right. Someone sacrificed themselves. Yay, exclusive. Screw you, PlayStation.
Hi, I'm Gina, head of tech at Riot on Teamfight Tactics, or TFT as we like to call it. TFT is an auto battler that we originally built as a game mode on the same engine as League of Legends. We built
Okay.
it fast, about 18 weeks from idea to launch, and then it grew way beyond what we expected. TFT has become a leading strategy game with more than 300 million players across the ecosystem, which is kind of wild to say out loud. We've just announced that TFT is moving to Unreal Engine with our next set, Enchanted Wilds. Rebuilding a live game on a new engine while it's still running is not something most games choose to do. It's years of work across engineering, art, design, and production, and that gets even harder when your game is still shipping new sets, events, everything to players on a regular cadence. But that's what we decided to do. I joined Riot to work on TFT, and about 6 weeks in, we made the call to move the game to Unreal. And pretty quickly, we realized this wasn't just about moving engines. It was about what became possible. Building on shared technology, reusing more of what we create, spending
And
less
mods.
time rebuilding foundations, and more time building TFT. One example is the gameplay ability system.
And
It
mods.
gives us a more structured and flexible way to build gameplay as the game grows. And for a game like TFT, where every set brings new mechanics, content, and ways to play, that kind of common foundation matters a lot. It gives us shared building blocks, abilities, attributes, and effects that can be reused across very different parts of the game. And that lets us move faster over time. With Unreal, we had to rethink how the game was built. Architecture, networking, gameplay, even the way the game data is structured had to change. And early versions of the game in Unreal just didn't feel right. Performance was rough. We had builds running at around 12 frames per second in an 8-player game, which I'm sure all of you can imagine was not exactly the target. So the first goal for us wasn't innovation. It was parity. We had to get TFT back. and that meant reworking a lot of systems inside Unreal. Some gave us a strong starting point, others required significant customization, and some
Meta.
we rebuilt from scratch.
Hey, Meta, what's my headset battery? Please tell me.
Your headset battery is at 49%.
Huge number of gameplay actors in a match, the default replication approach wasn't enough to meet our server and bandwidth performance targets. So, with Epic's help, we evolved our approach, adopting Iris networking with push-based replication and fast arrays to get the performance we needed. The hard part wasn't getting something working, it was making it work at scale. Gameplay was another big one. We leaned heavily into the gameplay ability system. It's powerful and helped us get something up and running quickly, which, as many of you know, matters a lot early on. But TFT has sets, modes, and gameplay content that don't always ship on the same timeline. And pretty quickly, we realized we needed a better way to organize all of it. So we ended up using the Game Features plugin to give that content clearer boundaries and a more scalable way to share systems. And that gave the teams more freedom to build. And then there's mobile. A huge part of TFT is that it runs on a wide range of devices, including low-end mobile hardware. That didn't change just because we moved engines. And while this has been one of the hardest parts of the migration, it's also one of the reasons we made the move. Mobile is a huge part of how people play TFT, including me, so we invested deeply in custom rendering, memory management, and scaling the game across devices, working closely with Epic to get TFT running where we needed it to. But we're still early in that journey. We're already sharing much more across PC and mobile than we could before, and there's still a lot more we can do for our mobile players. Content migration. I'm guessing a lot of you already know where this is going. TFT has thousands of assets across art, animation, VFX, and audio that had to be migrated. And every type of content broke differently when we brought it over. VFX alone was a massive amount of work. We weren't just converting assets, we were moving between fundamentally different systems. Getting thousands of assets into the engine was one challenge. Getting them back to the quality bar that players expect was another. And we really underestimated how much time this would take. So a huge part of the effort became building the tooling and pipelines to fix, convert, and validate all that content at scale.
Good job, Riot Games.
And that's where Unreal's extensibility really mattered. We could build the systems we needed to make this possible, because there was no world where we were rebuilding all of that by hand. And we kept running into the same pattern everywhere. Unreal gives you a lot, but getting from Unreal to TFT still took a massive amount of work. We're already seeing the impact of Unreal across TFT. More of the game is built on shared foundations. Mobile and PC share much more of the same UI and underlying systems, and we're able to build on technology and capabilities that exist across Riot. And that's the biggest thing Unreal gave us. Not a feature, leverage. But this move isn't for everyone. For TFT, this is what will let us move faster, take bigger swings, and keep delivering the experiences players expect. Because for us, this is about building TFT into a forever game that players can keep coming back to. And players will get their first opportunity to play TFT on Unreal in just a few weeks. And honestly, I hope players pick it up and say, yeah, this feels like TFT. Because if we've done our job well, they won't be thinking about the engine at all. They'll just be playing TFT. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a great Unreal Fest.
I think it's a lot of work.
I'm Tor Frigg, Creative Director at Neon Giant, here to talk about No Law, the next game from our studio. In our first game, The Ascent, our small team pushed the out-of-the-box UE4 tech to its limit to make a highly detailed, lived-in cyberpunk world. For our new game, No Law, a high-fidelity, immersive, first-person shooter set in the unregulated city of Port Desire, we knew that our best starting point would be building a game around the core feature set of Unreal 5, because a small team like ours needs to work with the engine, not against it. We realized early on that out of the box wouldn't be enough. We had to push beyond the defaults and build our own workflow inside UE5 to make the world we wanted. We're proud of what we did with the Ascent, and No Law is the next step in that same approach. Our constraint was specific. We didn't want the largest world, but the densest, a city that feels lived in at every scale, where every corner carries history and every surface tells a story. Port Desire is shaped by human clutter, cramped market alleys, layered graffiti, worn stickers on electrical boxes. It's a story with every frame, from a messy apartment where characters go about their lives to the skyline of the city. As a relatively small team, that ambition came with real challenges. We wanted extreme detail everywhere, but we also needed stability and performance without hand optimizing each location. For us, the answer wasn't a single system, but a shift in how we built the world. We prioritized density over scale, and we built a pipeline that let artists handcraft spaces without constantly stripping detail back and without relying on procedural generation. Nanite is what made that approach viable. It lets us keep a high level of detail across surfaces without treating every asset as a trade-off between fidelity and performance. Our custom implementation of FastGeo in combination with the world partition system enables a seamless experience that never breaks. It allows us to have details in every nook and cranny and tell a million small stories. In fact, we have more objects in any given frame than the entirety of the Ascent. With this workflow, we can preserve detail and density in every corner, from the smallest bolt on a freighter to the city as a whole, with no invisible walls and no loading. We build tools inside Unreal to help our artists handcraft the entire city, alley by alley, building by building, block by block. To show Port Desire's full range as an urban city overrun with vegetation, we needed dynamic lighting. From the cozy, lush midday sun to the darkest, the most dangerous alleys where even the bright neon light does not reach. The challenge was maintaining a fully dynamic day, night, and weather system without unpredictable frame times. Lumen gives the foundation for fully dynamic lighting, and mega lights let our artists focus on the believability of the space instead of tuning every single light source. Every believable space needs dozens or hundreds of individual light sources. From the smallest blinking electronic warning light on a camera to the large neon signs above a marketplace. Mega lights allow us to retain the visual fidelity bar we're aiming for while keeping performance considerations low. Once everything is dynamic, it starts to affect the gameplay in more direct ways. Players can shoot out a street lamp, flood a space with a flashlight, or they can leave an area in darkness and have the AI NPCs react to light and shadow, shying away from glare, searching through darkness, or escalating when something feels off.
Let's see who's got the bigger gun, motherfucker!
To make the city feel alive, we leaned on the mass framework to drive our crowds. NPC density and types shift based on time of day, region, and weather. In the slums, a storm clears the streets, but in the more sinful parts of Port Desire, even heavy rain won't slow things down. Mass lets us simulate thousands of characters at once, over 3,000 at any given time, which is also more than the entirety of the Ascent. So the city always feels active, no matter where you are. We're also using MetaHuman, paired with our own character randomization system. Together with MetaHuman Animator, we can generate and bring to life thousands and thousands of variations of characters, so that the main characters and the extras in the background are all unique. We wanted a world that reacted systemically to the player, without us having to hand-place effects and destruction. Filling a world of this density and scale with contextual effects while maintaining performance and interactivity was one of our key challenges. By combining PCG and Niagara data channels, environmental effects are procedurally populated where appropriate. Wherever artists place trash or leaves, particles will spawn dynamically based on wind, weather, and player actions. Shoot a bullet or throw a grenade, and particles will move out of the way. We combined chaos physics and their own GPU-driven solution to support tens of thousands of moving objects simultaneously. The result is a reactive environment where smoke lingers, embers drift, and broken glass stays where it fell. Creating No Law has been the process of finding where the engine ends and our custom tools begin. Achieving this level of density, lighting complexity, and systemic reactivity was previously impossible for a studio of our size. By leveraging UE5's latest tech to bypass traditional development bottlenecks, we have finally been able to build the uncompromised version of the world we wanted to create for years. We can't wait for you to experience it. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I lead the Fortnite developer relations team here at Epic, and I'm here to talk with you about
We
what's
hired the
happening
1,000
with
employees.
the Fortnite ecosystem. Every one of the games on the screen behind me was built by an independent developer. Small teams,
Wow.
sometimes just 2 or 3 people using UEFN, published into an ecosystem of millions of players. For those of you who have been with us in UEFN some since day one, thank you. Your feedback has really helped shape the tools, and your creativity has shifted how more than 75 million monthly active users experience Fortnite. Your games are a growing share of Fortnite playtime.
If I see
In May,
Steel
we
Brain
saw
Rot
them
on
capture
here.
47% of all player hours,
I saw Steel
up
Brain
from
Rot.
just 38% a year ago. And with over $1 billion
Yeah, 'cause it's Steel
now
Brain
paid
Rot.
out to developers since the launch of UEFN, these teams are building businesses here through engagement payouts and, as of January, in island transactions. It's introduced more ways to monetize. It's opened up new genres and helped developers with
Yeah,
smaller,
Star Wars.
engaged communities thrive.
Where's she?
Over
You ever made, by the
3,000
way?
islands now earn more from in-island
Where's Steel Brain?
transactions
There it
than
is. There's a
engagement
little
payouts.
bitch.
And we're continuing to see a growing share of
Okay,
total
so
payouts
back.
coming from in-island transactions. It's been a boost for genres outside of Battle Royale and Shooter, and these games now make up over 75% of all in-island
There's Steel
transaction
Brain
revenue.
Rot. There's Brain Rot shit in there. Oh my god, bro.
We know it takes trust to build on a platform that's still maturing, and this year, stability and developer effectiveness is our #1 priority.
Just show the Simpsons
Back
map
in
already.
March, we stated our goal to cut iteration times, and we've been making real progress, getting
forgot
the
his
time
name.
it takes to push changes down by an average of 40% or so. That's even higher for larger projects, and we've seen reductions of up to 70%. Plus, expanded live edit support makes iteration faster and more streamlined. Live edits
Make
are
Fortnite
now
go to
applied directly in
106.
game mode, and the new edit list gives you a clear view of the changes as you work. The consolidated UI simplifies session controls and adds the ability to pause the game, letting you explore the edit the scene with a detached camera.
Huh.
And then work's not done here. We're continuing to drive iteration times down and make UEFN a better tool to build with, release after release. And alongside hardening the tools, we're unlocking more gameplay capabilities. Scene Graph, which is soon to be the foundation of UE6, is maturing quickly in UEFN and giving Fortnite developers far more control and customization than
laughed?
ever before. It underpins
I
new
feel insulted.
systems like custom items, inventories, and as
custom
of our latest
lightsabers.
release, an initial set of workflows creating custom weapons and animation with Scene Graph.
Let's go.
And there's much more on the way, including gameplay attributes, gameplay abilities, and Scene Graph UI. We're introducing more and more major engine systems as first scriptable components so that you can
I do
spend more
not
time in
see
UEFN
Simpsons.
authoring gameplay and less time configuring it. We're also opening up new types of gameplay with targeted feature sets. Creature-based gameplay tools just shipped with games launching to players this summer. And Fortnite Sidekicks allows developers to tap
Is
into
this
the
fucking
attachment
Pokemon?
players have already built with their own companions. Developers can now build pet battlers, cozy farming sims, and more. And we're expanding where those games
Aw.
come to life. Fortnite is back on Google Play and the App Store worldwide, and mobile playtime
Good
for
for you.
UEFN games has
Make it
more
better.
than doubled in the past year.
Like, make Blitz runnable.
We know that optimizing for mobile hasn't been easy. We're hoping that some of the recent feature releases,
How'd you
like
hear
native
me?
gesture support and touchscreen layout customizations and finer control over your HUD, can help you build more mobile-friendly games. These mobile features will exit experimental mode in August, enabling experiences and genres that feel more at home on mobile.
Simpsons, please.
Our recent Discover changes are already showing results. We've cracked down on spam and duplicate content, sorted islands into clear genres, and personalized Discover to help your games find audiences faster. And later this year, we're going to be doing a full redesign. Video everywhere, personalization across every row.
Oh my goodness.
And social signals, including like percentage right on the tile. And a big shift, Discover replaces the lobby as the first thing that players see when they open Fortnite.
What? Of
We'll
course,
be diving
Steal the Brain
deeper
is
into
on
the
there.
Discover roadmap and the rest of UEFN ecosystem over the next few days.
Steal the Brain Rot correction.
Our IP partner program enables any Fortnite developer to
K-pop
build
Demon
with
Hunters,
officially
Star Wars,
licensed
Squid
content
Game.
from major IP like Lego, Star
UEFN
Wars,
Squid Game?
and more. Each partnership unlocks exclusive characters,
Oh, that's right,
environments,
that's
and
already in there.
templates that developers
Wait,
can
is it?
use to
I don't
create
remember.
games they can't build anywhere else. One of the OG UEFN developers, Future Trash, has successfully brought their FOD IP to Fortnite and launched a hit game set in a galaxy far, far away. Their founder, Kevin, is here to share more about what they've been up to, so please give him a warm welcome.
This ain't Simpsons.
Thank you, Hannah.
We're not
Hi,
getting
everyone.
Simpsons.
I'm Kevin Marciano, co-founder and CEO of Future Trash, the game studio behind FOD. In 2022, my co-founders, Nate, Scott, Eric, and I, quit our jobs and we wanted to build the next great party game. We were betting everything on an indie studio with one idea and a lot of passion. We learned fast how brutal that road is. Back-end infrastructure, discoverability, distribution, the walls were everywhere. By early 2023, we only had a few weeks of runway left. I flew to GDC with the Steam Deck in hand, trying to get anyone's attention to care about what we had built. That's when UEFN got announced, and we thought, why don't we bring our game into Fortnite? We weren't native to UGC, so it felt incredibly risky. After some experimentation with the tools and learning more about the blossoming creator economy, we could see the potential. We rolled up our sleeves and shipped our first game
Oh, so
in
this is
under
still
3
Fortnite,
weeks.
okay.
We hit publish and got player feedback almost instantly. And that's when it settled in. This was going to be our path forward.
Damn. So they actually made
And that
this?
bold pivot didn't just save our company, it changed our perspective on the future of the games industry. What UEFN gave us wasn't just a platform, it was direct access to our audience. No gatekeepers, no publisher approval. You just have an
This is
idea,
brain
you
rot.
build it,
Bro.
and players play it. We've now reached a scale of players we genuinely never thought would be possible as a small studio. From a MOBA that didn't quite land with the Fortnite audience to our first
Wait, is that
breakout
brain rot? I
hit,
don't
Boom
know.
Tycoon, we had the opportunity to experiment with a wide range of genres and discover what
It
felt
does look
right
pretty
for
cool,
our
though.
creative sensibilities on the platform. And as a studio obsessed with world building, character-driven experiences, and building original IP, UEFN became our creative sandbox and our distribution layer at the same time.
Tiantina, Red Knight,
Star
the
Wars
hot dog guy.
has always been a creative inspiration to everyone on our team since childhood. None of us ever dreamt that we'd be able to craft our own game using the iconic IP
Star Wars.
essentially total creative control. The droids of Star Wars, they do the hardest work, they survive the worst odds, and they get the least amount of credit. And we thought, let's make a game about them. Droid Tycoon was our love letter to these unsung heroes of the Star Wars universe. It's hard to believe that this game could have existed anywhere else. And that's how we see the
You
future
did not
of
make
how
Droid
legacy
Tycoon.
IP will embrace
Wait,
UGC
did you?
native creators to foster an infinite extension of their content universe. That's where the most exciting stories are going to be told. And you all showed up to prove it. Since we launched the map, Droid Tycoon became the most played UEFN game in Fortnite by hours.
Huh?
It climbed to the second most played game across all of Fortnite in its first weekend. And earlier this month, it set a new record for the highest number of concurrent players over a 2-hour period, which is the strongest performance
to
ever
work.
achieved by an IP experience in Fortnite. Looking ahead, our ambitions are to continue pushing the boundaries of what's possible on the platform in terms of visual quality and storytelling. We will continue building our own original IP while also making immersive experiences for the franchises that inspire us most. Thank you.
Simpsons, please. Disney.
Thanks, Kevin, for sharing your story and creative
Disney
process,
announcement?
and especially for bringing the Star Wars IP to life in Droid Tycoon in a way that has connected so deeply with fans.
If we get frozen in Fortnite,
Droid
I'm gonna cry.
Tycoon
I'm gonna be so happy
is a
for my
standout
cousin.
representative of some of the big highlights we had this year in Disney and Fortnite. Let's take a look.
No way. Oh, frick you. Okay. Ahsoka. We won an actual Unreal Engine map, please. Yeah, the horses here. Oh, that map is annoying. That is scary.
To infinity and beyond.
And beyond. Homer.
Behold, giant food from the sky.
What did that say? I don't want to rewind.
This partnership is anchored in one conviction. Disney stories should reach fans where they already are, and that's increasingly in games. And it extends beyond Epic and Disney. Developers, you're in this
You're going to kill movie theaters.
With the agency to build your own experiences and tell your own stories using the IP that you know and love. Early in my game dev career, my dream was to make games in the Star Wars universe. I was fortunate enough to be able to do that, and it's been a great full circle moment for me personally to see developers experience the thrill of making their own Star Wars games for the first time. What's happened since we launched this IP program has exceeded everything we expected. Star Wars came to UEFN and developers ran with it. Galactic Siege, Escape Vader, Droid Tycoon, all built with tools available to everyone in this room. 8 million players in 72 hours overall.
Damn.
Galactic Siege had 6.5 million players, and Escape Vader had 3.4 million plays in just the first 6 days. And Droid Tycoon became just the first 6 days. And Droid Tycoon became the #2 most played island in Fortnite.
I wonder what's #1. I guess steal a brain rot.
All of us at Disney want to congratulate and thank Beyond Creative and Jogo for their contributions on their exemplar island launches, along with Droid Tycoon. In The Mandalorian and Grogu Watch Party Island, fans were able to watch the first 10 minutes of the film before it ever hit theaters. This is a new model for what studio IP and the creative pipeline can look like, going beyond IP access
Next
and
thing you know, they're
toward
gonna stop
creative
premiering
continuity
movies
and
in
immersion in
Fortnite.
worlds that feel real. Star Wars, though, was just one chapter in a year where games meaningfully extended our storytelling. As Percy Jackson returned to Disney Plus for Season 2, Siege of Monsters, created by our friends at Gauntlet, offered a new way to experience that world.
It's Perry.
While our own Disneyland Game Rush translated the energy from Anaheim and
Hey, your
Disneyland's
game's dead,
70th
by the way.
anniversary into playable form. And our Disney, Pixar, Lucasfilm, 20th Century, and Marvel outfit collabs continue to remain amongst the most popular in Fortnite. That goes beyond a traditional IP arrangement. It's
So we're in
iconic Disney
We're Simpsons.
stories in the hands of more creatives, reaching more fans than ever. And we can't forget our favorite animated family from Springfield, who had one crazy month-long season last year. This season had over 80 million unique players.
Damn!
With over 750 million hours played. The reach speaks for itself. We were so excited to see players come into Springfield But we've also loved watching citizens of Springfield cross over into parts of UEFN. Let's take a look at some highlights from one of our favorite streamers.
Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Bart S reacts to me playing Fortnite.
My sword's under
Here's how Homer
47.
gets us to school every
Wait.
day. The fat is strong with this one. Hey, look, it's Jurassic Pork. Here's Dad
Pork.
having a meeting with my teacher, Mrs. Krabappel. Here we go, the titanic battle between two old men with breathing problems.
Two old men with breathing problems.
Okay,
Crazy.
dinosaurs and stormtroopers are tough for Dad, but when he's on his home turf in his Springfield Island, he'll probably just choke on his own donut candy.
36 years in, The Simpsons still feel like everyone's family. But today, they're finding a new home. We are so excited to announce The Simpsons is joining the IP Partner Program later this year.
What about Reload Map? Reload Map? Reload
Springfield will be yours. Characters, locations, radioactive waste, all UEFN ready. But hey, be kind to Flanders. But based on what we've seen, Springfield's in good hands. Thank you to all the amazing developers in this community. We look forward to seeing what you create next. Now back to Epic.
Where's the reload map? Wait, I want reload. What?
From the first time we went supersonic to right here, right now, it's fitting that at the largest celebration of our game, in front of the greatest fans in the world, we celebrate that history. To all of our friends here in Paris and those watching all around the world, this is the future, and this is
Unreal Engine 6. So good. You can hit on the other one. Where's the Disney? Where's the Disney multiverse thing? On UEFN 6?
Hey, everyone.
Tim Sweeney, let's go.
All right, at the Rocket League competitive series in Paris, we gave the world the first glimpse of Unreal Engine 6. And this is the next step in our mission, to make great games and tools and to share them with you so you can bring your ideas to life. And I'm here to talk to you about what we're building now for the future. Today, things are kind of awkward. There's actually two different ways to build stuff in Unreal. There's building Unreal Engine 5 games for standalone distribution on stores with massive AAA features. And then there's the Unreal Editor for Fortnite feature set and tool set that enables you to build a game once and then deploy it to all platforms live into Fortnite with its 80 million monthly active users.
UEFN 6?
Now, each of them has some really cool, unique features, but is lacking the features of the other one. And so our big initiative to bring them together is the core of the Unreal Engine 6 effort. It's UE5 plus UEFN equals UE6 plus some more cool stuff on the way. The vision is that if you build things once the Unreal Engine 6 way, then you can have a game that you can ship everywhere, including the console stores, the PC stores, the mobile stores, and also ship live into the Fortnite ecosystem or any other Unreal Engine 6-based game ecosystem built by any other developer.
We hire the 1,000 employees, please, then we'll be happy.
Now, in prior generations, we put graphics first in leading and announcing our technology. But with the Unreal Engine 6 generation, we're focusing first and foremost on the foundations of the engine to prepare for the next generation of game development and for gaming. And the most critical change here is the move to the verse programming language for gameplay development alongside the low-level C++ engine. And the reason for this is to enable massive scale code and content interoperability across games. Today we have a lot of content interoperability features. You go to the Fab content marketplace, you download a bunch of cool objects, you stick in your game, but then you have to wire them up and make it work yourself. In the Unreal Engine 6 generation, by having a unified set of APIs and a unified language that works everywhere, you'll be able to build smart assets that are completely portable between games and between projects and can be shared at any scale, with the potential to have millions of developers collaborating together on a shared body of work that anybody can use. Another hallmark aim for the Unreal Engine 6 generation is to enable far larger game simulations. The original Battle Royale movie in 1999 that inspired the Battle Royale genre of games, fortunately, just happened to have 100 people dropping onto an island. It's a nice coincidence because that's actually the maximum number of players our code base could support running on a single thread on a server. If they had 1,000 players, we wouldn't have been able to do it. The goal of Unreal Engine 6 is to introduce software and transactional memory technology, which Curtis Schmidt will talk more about later, in order to enable scaling of games to any amount of computers that can fit into a data center. Hundreds, thousands, potentially even millions in the future. And this is technology that's in the research lab, and the team is working very rapidly to make into a practical shipping system. Another major aim of Unreal Engine 6 is something I first talked about at the SIGGRAPH computer graphics show back in 2016. There I talked about a potential future of gaming as an open system like the web is open, in which any developer can run a server, build a game, host their own content, and the user can go anywhere they want, from place to place, bringing all of their stuff with them, and tearing down the walls and barriers that exist between games to have a completely interoperable ecosystem. And the Rocket League preview of Unreal Engine 6, if you looked at the very last frame of it, there was a little URL bar on top. The URL was verse://rocketleague.com. And we're tantalizingly close now to fully realizing this idea of an open gaming ecosystem with the ability to travel from game to game and independent developer freedom to build everything they want everywhere they go. And our aim at Epic is to work with all developers in the industry to build this system together as peers. We want a system with no overlord. We've been spending some time fighting against overlords in the industry with some amount of success. And we don't want to be the next one. Rather, we want to be a partner to every company in the industry, including all game developers and also other makers of technology and services, in order to build the best stuff and connect it all up together. And so a huge part of this effort is going to be Epic adopting open standards like the Pixar USD file format and GLTF, and also working with standards bodies and releasing specifications to bring new standards into the industry where they're lacking and needed. I'll be talking more about that later, but right now I'd like to introduce Marcus Wasmer to talk about the architecture of Unreal Engine 6. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Tim. So let's just take a second to look at the recent history of Unreal Engine. So Unreal Engine 4 opened the engine to everyone by making the tools free to use and the source accessible on GitHub. And UE5 reinvented how worlds are built, helping you go bigger, add density and dynamic detail, and do it faster than ever before.
The more my sword's going to clog up.
UE6 has a different proposition. It's about how